What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? Guess what it is? Your favorite person in the whole wide world. All right, today's episode is freaking insane. All right, so we're talking to Zachary Young, and he's out of Singapore. And now this business sells information. All right, they sell information and coaching on how to do trading, but they focus only on the Singapore market, Malaysia, Hong Kong. And so they're really niched. And he came in and took the business that he's now the CEO of called Next Level from 1 million a year to this year, they're going to do $20 million. Now, this is in like 3 years. And what was my favorite part about this interview is he reveals everything. I mean, I asked him some of the most detailed questions. His entire business model, he revealed it from start to finish, from how they get the lead to what they do with that lead and how they sell them into programs that are $30, $50, $80,000. It was one of the most transparent interviews I've done in a long time. You're going to learn. I mean, for me, I'm walking away with the crap load of ideas. So if you're looking to sell information for especially high ticket and even in niched markets, that's going to be the next big thing, is not just focusing on US, but getting out of the US and focus on niche markets. This is the episode for you. All right. So listen, click subscribe below, click likes, do all that fun stuff. If you're listening to us on any other platform, hit subscribe, leave us a great review, anikpodcast.com. And of course, hey, you want to start an information business of your own? Join us at lurnexpert.com, Lurn expert.com. Free course, free community, free newsletter. We're building this up. We want to change the way the world learns, and we're going to do it starting with you. So lurnexpert.com. But for now, let's turn it over to Zachary Young. All right, help me welcome Zachary Young. Zach, right? Man, thank you so much for being here. He is up at midnight in Singapore to do this episode for us. So I really appreciate you for it. He's done some amazing stuff, everybody. So grew a company to now this year, they'll do $20 million. And that's in like less than 3 years, from 1 million to 20 million. And they're in the information marketing space, but specifically for investing. They also have another business that shows people how to grow their businesses. And on this episode, we're going to find out how he did it. What are the funnels? What are the products? What are the price points? What are the traffic sources? What are the marketing models? All of that great stuff. So, Zach, welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, so, Zach, you're the CEO of a company called Next Level. And you came into this company, you said, and you took the first year you were there, you took them from 1 million to $10 million. And, now this year, when, let's face it, most companies are hurting, man. Most companies in the information marketing space are going down. And you are saying you'll double. You'll go to 20. So can you just jump right in? Tell us about your business. Tell us about what you sell. Where are you seeing the growth? And how come you guys are seeing such amazing growth?
I see. So actually, for my business is based in Singapore. We reach out to, even though we serve regionally, which is Singapore, Malaysia, but a majority of our business is actually in Singapore. And so what we did was actually even the growth of my company, of the company, actually even took the original founder by surprise, because he's very used to 1 million, 2 million annual kind of revenue. And then actually within the year, especially during the year of the pandemic, we 10x'd it literally to 10 mil. So some of the things that I recall us doing differently was that we actually changed the business model. Because previously, the business model was one that was very, I would say, inefficient. It was a low price point kind of ticket. And I mean, the price points was about $3,000. Okay, this is what we consider low, all right? At about $3,000, our speakers, our salespeople were flying around region to region. They were doing it in Japan, they were doing it in Malaysia, they were doing it in Singapore. Where else? I think Indonesia, and all around the region, Southeast Asia region. And it was tiring, it was backbreaking and things like that. And after all the work, they only managed to cap out at 1 mil plus, sometimes. So what we did was that we changed the business model. We changed the business model to sell high ticket. And our high ticket, different people have different definitions of high ticket, but just to give you all some I would say some range of our high ticket. So our lowest high ticket item is about 10K. And then after that, it goes up to 30K to 50K, and our highest is at 88K. So so actually, I actually just 10x their prices from average of 3K to something like 30K and things like that. So actually we ended up serving a lesser number of people, if not the same number of people, but yet their revenue 10x. So actually it was much easier to do this kind of business, and as a result, the margins was better, the work was lesser, and in fact the results was better as well, because now that we charge them, interesting thing that we realized about charging people high price points is that when you charge them high price points, they pay more attention. We always have this joke that the more they pay, the more attention they pay. So because we're in the line of teaching people how to invest, usually when we charge them lower price points, well, you teach them, they don't take much action, not much results. But what happened was that we charged them higher, they took much more action, they got much more results, made more profits. And the results just kept compounding, and more people actually joined, and they recommended more and more as well. And then the growth of the company just skyrocketed after that.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, so I got so many questions. So first of all, today, are you still doing the model of traveling and doing physical speaking? Like, is that the only change you made, just price points being higher, which we'll come back to, because I want to talk about what it is that you sell for 10, 30, 50, 80. And if you see me writing, that's me writing those questions down. But like, what's your funnel look like today? Is it all online? Is it offline, traveling to events, webinars? How do you get your traffic? Like, talk to me a little bit about the business.
All right. So obviously, as you guys know, in 2020, the pandemic hit us, right? So no traveling, everything had to, actually, we were doing it in Singapore. So at the start, because we wanted to charge higher price points, we were holding it at a high, more posh hotels and all. So it actually gave us very good results. But when the pandemic hit, we actually had to take everything online. So we were one of the first few to pivot online. We went on to Webinar Jam, onto Zoom, the usual, right? And I'm not sure if you're familiar with, there's this model where, they talk about the three types of price points. There is the lowest, which is the price war level, where people go as cheap as possible. Then there was the middle of the road where everyone's majority there. And then there's the premium price points, right? So most of the time, most of the people in our industry was at the middle of the road. So the average in the industry was 2,000, 3,000, going up to 4,000. So when the pandemic hit, we actually did something crazy. We went to charge a very low price point. We brought everything online, and because it was all online, it was much more easy to scale. We just say, hey, just a few $100s. We just wanted to test and give people value, help people through this pandemic. So we gave it at about, I think, $200 or something like that. So we had a lot of people. So we gave them a lot of value for 3 days and all. Then after that, we gave them our higher price point packages after that. We say, hey, if you enjoyed this, come work with us on a longer term basis, on a 1 year basis. And that was where the 10K, 30K, 50K. And interestingly, of course, we do have a very tight filtering system where we only select the right people to work with. But it took off. People, we stopped flying. In fact, I don't think we'll ever go back to flying. And maybe we'll go there and kind of we'll come and see our VIP clients here and there. But right now, everything we are doing, it's online.
Wow.
Every month, everything is all online.
Okay, so do you still do the $200 thing today? Do you still like get them first in for very low cost and then come with you? So your price points don't start at $10,000. You do have lower ticket products. Okay, so
we went both ways. We went the price war, and then we went on the premium. So
but you skipped the middle.
Yeah, we skipped the middle.
Okay. I like it. So you basically, I like how, hey, most people are in the middle, so let's just skip over that and do what's behind.
Yeah. We are the cheapest, and we are the most expensive.
Okay. I like where this conversation is going, and I'll tell you why I like it, because the next plan that I have for Lurn is exactly that. It's exactly that. Because I have lived now for almost 10 years. So, for me, historically, I used to be in the price wall guy for about 7, 8, 9 years, made millions and upon millions of dollars being the low priced. And then kind of after 2013, 14, the market kind of had collapsed and it's coming back. This whole webinar market came back up. And so then I sat in the middle and dominated it for the last 10 years. or like last 7-8 years, and have done really well with it, but am now actually, funny enough, seeing the market change. And I'm seeing what you seem to have saw 2 years ago. And so the new plan is to do exactly that. Come in on a lower, but then pluck the premium, pluck the right customers out into the higher. So where are you? Okay, so let's talk about this first, and then we'll talk about the marketing models. If I buy a $200, that's the price, $200 for the?
So actually we increased it a little bit more. Now it's like 300, 400 USD. But we started off because when the pandemic first started, we had no idea what's happening. So we just went in with a undeniable value at $200.
What do they get for that? What's in that $300-400?
It was a 3-day event. It was a 3-day event. We spent a lot of time. We had our speakers. We brought in 2 to 3 speakers to really guide them. We really helped handhold them, gave them a lot of value. So a lot of them, they were shocked because the aim of this whole thing was to really do it differently from how the rest is doing it, right? So everyone was charging them $3,000, $4,000 for a weekend class. And then we say, hey, let's do the same thing, but let's do it at $300, $200, $300. So they were like, wow. They were like, whoa, man, you are giving it us at a fraction of a cost. So as a result, we built a lot of trust with that. And because we spend so much time with them, they know that we are the real deal. So after that, then that was just the 3-day class. Then after that, they realized that, hey man, since with this 3 days, you already gave us so much value, which other people are giving at $3,000, $4,000. Wow, that $30,000 thing, you're going to go journey with me for the next 1 year. I'm down for it.
So now, because of the pandemic, did you do this virtually, this 3-day event? Did you run that virtually?
Yes, we did it virtually.
Wow. Okay. How many people would show up at an event? Like, how many roughly?
Okay, so the number varies, but it averages between 300 to 400 people. Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how many of those end up upgrading to your 30K, 40K program?
I would say about 10 to 20%. 10 to 20%. Yeah. Yeah. Of course it fluctuates, but 10 to 20%. And the interesting thing is, at the end of the day, usually there'll be more people, but what happens is that, like what I mentioned to you, we are actually quite serious about selecting the right type of people, because we realized that actually the best type of marketing is results-based marketing, right? You get students who get results. So if you actually just set a very low standard, you know how people give the fake scarcity kind of thing, right? Like, oh, this is only for a selected few. So when we did this, we really selected people and we rejected people. We had people who were willing to pay us 30K, 50K, which we rejected. All right. So even when I did introduce this model to my salespeople, my consultants, they were a bit shocked. They were like, this guy wants to pay us 30K. Then I say, this guy will give us more problems in the future. So let's just reject. Let's only take the real serious people. So when we did that, these people who were serious, they also took action, and they actually got. So we had, just to give you some examples, we had people who had, they came in because number one, because of the huge price points, we also filtered and we got the better, I would say the more well-to-do clients, right? So these people had maybe 200K in their brokerage account, 500K, 800K, and each of them actually took action, and the 500K person, the 800K person, even the 200K person became, they grew their account to hit over 1 million. So actually after that, what we did was that we give them a plug award, like a 7-figure award, something like the 2 Comma Club. So because of this, we actually, our program actually up to now, to date, we created about 15 millionaires so far. So yeah, because we really filtered them very carefully, and because we got 15 millionaires, even more people wanted to join us. So it was
1.5 or 5.0?
1.5.
That's amazing. Okay, so you get 300 to 400 people on live 3-day event. It's a Zoom event. I'm assuming it's virtual. 10 to 20% of those, so anywhere between 30 to 60, will end up upgrading to a $30,000 or more I'll come back to this question. Do you do it live though? So that 3-day event, do you do it live like every weekend, once a month, once a quarter? Like how often do you run those?
We run those once a month. We run those once a month.
So you spend basically a month marketing it, and then you run it, and then you spend a few weeks marketing the next one. So that's the cycle?
So what happens is that because we sell them, we do like previews, workshops. So we sell them to the 3-day. We only do the 3-day once a month. So all of them get filtered into the. We do a lot of workshops, maybe once a week or twice a week. Each of these are small groups. Then after that, all of them will compound in the 1 weekend class with the 3-day class.
Okay. So you're running like a traditional webinar throughout the month, like but how many people are usually on each of those webinars?
Wow. Let me see. I would say 100, 200, I would say. Yeah. I
100
mean,
to
you know,
200
webinar
per.
jam stats are a bit
Yeah.
tricky.
So that my next question was exactly, are you running it live or you're using automated webinar solution?
Automated.
Okay, so I got an awesome automated webinar solution for you, so we can talk about it after this podcast. That is.
We are all ears, man. I mean, we have tried so many.
No, I've already got. I more than doubled my show rates. I love this company. I would tell you, close your eyes, hands down, just go with them. They're the best for webinars. So we'll talk about that afterwards. Make sure I remember to tell you. So 100 to 200. But what I like about this is you've kind of got this intimate involvement with the customer, and they're having to wait for the 3-day event. So it's like they got a short event. Now they get a chance to spend some money with you, $300-400. They have to wait then for the main event. So it's like you're building up all that trust and all that time to get them to warm up to you. Okay, so before I go and ask you what you deliver in the 30, 50, 80K, a couple other questions. How do you get them to the original webinar that eventually sells the $300, $400 product? Like, are you doing Facebook ads, YouTube ads, organic? What are you doing?
Actually, yeah, we are doing whatever you just mentioned. We are doing Facebook ads, we are doing YouTube ads. We actually look using every single type of channel that you can think of. TikTok, Outbrain, Taboola. I mean, obviously we have our own database as well. Yeah, we are just finding channels to spend our marketing on. But of course, a majority of it is still Facebook and YouTube because they give the best ROI, at least for our end. We are starting to see more growth in TikTok. I mean, it surprises us. We always thought it was the younger crowd that may not be able to afford the courses that we eventually sell them. But hey, man, yeah, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so how much traffic are you? I'm trying to reverse engineer the math to see like what it takes traffic wise or what it takes spend wise to get 300 to 400 people on live that have spent $300-400. Yeah.
Depending on the I think during the pandemic, actually, okay, so there's during the pandemic and now I consider post-pandemic. So post-pandemic, during the pandemic, let's start off with during the pandemic. During the pandemic, the numbers were awesome. It was because I think everyone was cutting back on their spending.
Yeah, I know.
So I think it was like I think maybe 100K, 200K a month, and we can easily get that number of people. But after the pandemic, after the Apple iOS incident, where they try to start doing all these things. So obviously cost has been increasing, but I think we have been spending about still so maybe we double the cost, maybe 300K to about 400K. But you still get around about 300-400 packs. Yeah, but at the end of the day, each event still got us about 1 mil or so. So I mean, we're happy with it, which is why you ask like why every many of the industries that I know, many of my competitors or my peers in this industry, they are struggling because we charge at premium, so we had premium margins. but they charge either the middle of the road or the the standard pricing. And when marketing costs went up, they got hit badly, and the ability to spend isn't there. And so
100%. I can attest to that, being a person who has gone through it. Being in the middle, selling $1,000, $2,000 courses is impossibly hard now to scale and be profitable. Now, notice I said to scale, because I know that there's 3 goofballs right now listening to this. They're like, I do fine. I do 500% ROAS. Yeah, you're selling like $30,000 worth a month, which is awesome, but that's not scale. I'm talking to the tunes of millions a month. At that mid range, it's virtually impossible unless you have a deep funnel, which is exactly what Zach's talking about. You have to have something below it that goes deep and deep and deep, so that your LTV, your lifetime value of your customer, is huge. And that brings me to my next question, which is, okay, so let's just say all you did was sell the $300-$400 product, and getting till the day you go live with that once a month event, you're technically probably in losses, right? Your ads you're probably negative.
Yes. Okay. So depending, when the marketing is good and everything is good, you'll break even, right? Okay. But usually there will be usually you're in losses. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So that's the other thing I want everyone to hear right now, is that's another sign of a company that can scale, is a company that's willing to have loss leaders and have really good confidence in their back end process. And those are the companies that are going to make the most. And that's a scary prospect right now. Again, to anyone listening who's looking to start their own information business, remember, this is what happens at scale. So some of you might be going, oh, I can't afford to lose money. Yeah, if you don't start that way. When you're starting on a smaller budget, you can totally be profitable upfront and all. I just want you to be ready that as you scale, those metrics, they change a little. They don't scale the same, like proportionately. They change a little. So Zach,
actually, at this point, I just want to add, because I just, like I told you, this year the aim is to go to 20 mil, right? So because of that, we started a new business wing. Actually, same investment education business, but we target a different language, which is Chinese, right? So so that's going to be another 10 mil for us. But just to let you know, right? So we did 1 mil in the first 3 months. This was whilst starting everything from scratch, starting to scale. So of course, as once you doubt the process, in every month it's about 1 mil or 1.5 mil, depending on how fast you choose to scale. So while we're starting it, you're right. At the start, right, it's possible to be profitable. You don't have to lose money at the start. At the maybe the 100K mark, at the 300K mark, but once it goes past a certain stage where you really start to scale seriously, you have to take some losses at the upfront. So exactly what you mentioned.
Awesome. All right, super helpful, man. Okay, so let's now talk about, so you're running ads. Are you running only to Singapore? What are your markets right now that you're spending this in?
Malaysia, Hong Kong. Yeah. Okay. So
basically the south, not south, but like Asia market, basically.
Southeast Asia. Yeah, in that Southeast Asia region.
Okay. So you run traffic, they sign up for an automated webinar, they see the webinar, they buy the $300 or $400 3-day event. Then you warm them up for the event. They show up to this 3-day event, which you're running actually live using Zoom. And now at the end of the event or in the middle of the event, what's the sales process look like to get them? Do they book a phone call? Do you reveal the price during the event? Like, hey, this is 30K, this is 50K. What's your sales? How do you get them from that event to paying you $30,000 or more?
So actually we review to them, because we give them the workbook, the worksheet. So actually upfront inside the workbook or the worksheet, our price points, our brochures, everything's there. So it's completely transparent. We do everything upfront.
Even before the event starts, they already know it.
Yeah, it's all inside. But we don't focus on that first. I think during the whole event, because the event is a 3-day event, we spend a lot of time really giving them value and things like that. Of course, we talk about our products and stuff like that, but we only talk about it at, I think, the end of day 3 or the end of day 2, something like that. So actually we actually spend very little time teaching. right? We spend a majority of the 3 days giving them value. But because we overwhelm them with so much value and with so much authenticity and sincerity, they were like especially for investing related stuff, because we teach them all the strategies. We don't hold back. It's not like we hold, like how some people like to hold back half of the strategy and teach them half of the things that works. Then so we say, hey man, we're going to teach you everything, but we know that when strategy is one thing, but when you go out there in the market, when you're faced with the stocks, the price going up and down, you need help. And if you want us to journey with you, you want us to mentor you, you want us to guide you, you want us to help you for the next 1 year, this is what we offer. So we talk about this. And after that, majority of them, because they do either have sizable accounts, or they have invested, or they have lost before, so they know that it's not just a strategy. They do need their help. They do need a mentor. They do need they do need someone to guide them, and that's where we come in. And so the match is so seamless. And they say like, hey man, I don't want to lose that 30K or the 50K to the market. I might as well just give it to you and you help me.
So do you like at the end of the event, do they book a call to talk to someone, or do you just give them a URL that says go here and put money down?
Oh no. So what happens is that, like what I mentioned to you, I'll say, hey, if you guys are interested, jump on a call with us. We'll have to see whether you're suitable, because we really want to find the suitable ones. So we'll go through a consultation call with them. I think that part is quite similar to Sam Marvin's and the rest of the guys, where you jump on a call, you really see whether they're suitable or not. But because of the process, because they kind of already know what we have to offer and how we are like over the 3 days, that process becomes much shorter than most other consultations. So maybe about 15-minute call, maybe 30 minutes. After that, we kind of see whether they're suitable. And if they are, they make the payment, and we just onboard them.
Amazing. I like the fact that they already know what the price is. They know what the offer is. They already know what's involved in it before they even get on the call. They're actually on the call to convince you to accept them is really what the call is about.
Positioning is so different. They're like, they come in asking like, hey, can you really select me, please? It's amazing.
Okay. Okay, so what are you delivering? What's the difference between the 30 and the 50 and the 80? What do they get for the 30K? Like, how do you build up the value for something like that? Because 30,000 USD, especially in Singapore and these markets, that's even more than what it would be in America. Like it's a pretty big amount. So what are you giving them?
I think the idea that what we give to them is that we guide you guys, and you realize that the people that we target, okay, you see, most people when we talk about 30K, 50K, they kind of get shocked, right? But at the end of the day, let's say with guidance, with our coaches, with our mentors, we can, let's say, very conservatively help you get maybe 10% or 20%, right, annually. All right. I mean, we will teach you the skills, and after you learn the skill is yours forever, right? 20% annually. So to a person who has 10K in his bank or in his brokerage account, 20% of 10K is just 2K, right? So that's not much. But to a person who has 100K or 500K, 20% to him is 100K, right? So that changes the whole thing. So the thing is that when we ask you, hey man, we're going to teach you 20%, how to grow your brokerage, grow your portfolio by 10-20% annually, and then this skill is yours to keep forever, right? How much is that worth to you? Obviously, the people who have a larger account, who the millionaires, the half a millionaires, all this kind of people, they were like, whoa, this skill is worth, like what I mentioned, 100K, depends on how big their brokerage account is. So when you put into that context, that value, 20K to them to learn this skill, it's a small thing. But of course, if I were to target the wrong type of crowd, the type of people who only have 10K or 5K in their brokerage account, 20K is like, sometimes for some of them, 20K is their entire account. And then these people, they are probably not the best fit as well. So you'll realize that number one, we target people who are slightly, we target the more premium clientele. And as a result, it's a bit of a cheap kind of solution, because when they are they have a big account, it's also easier for them to get bigger results and better results as well. So for them, 20K, 30K, 50K, it's not about the money, because we keep telling them, don't focus on the price, don't focus on the cost, focus on the return. Yeah.
So, but what is in the 30K? Like, what, tactically speaking, is it like weekly coaching calls, personal coach, come to our learning center? Like, what do you actually deliver?
Okay, so we actually, what we do is that, number one, of course, we give them additional classes, right? But it's not that much. Maybe we'll give them another 3 more very advanced kind of strategies, right? Advanced strategies. But even with the basic strategies we teach in the original class, it works. Number two is, what we do is that we give them more regular updates, monthly updates. So that's a kind of like a group coaching and things like that, because the market is constantly moving. So I think this kind of weekly or monthly updates gives them that kind of assurance. But most importantly, what we do is that we actually give them the chance to get on a call with our mentors directly, right? So on the call, the mentors will actually kind of guide them with respect to their portfolio. So there's that tailored one-to-one hand holding, that tailored feedback, that tailored guidance. And that's the one that they find to be the most helpful in general. So they are paying for that. So in fact, what we do is that because our mentors, they all have their own portfolios as well. So sometimes they will open their portfolios to show them. And our mentors, we also have mentors who are fund managers, or we have coaches who have a multi-million-dollar portfolio as well. So for those who have bigger portfolio, they're like, yeah, this is what we do. This is what we'll advise you to do as well. So I think calls, classes, and monthly regular webinars, I think it's a mix of all these. So of course, as you go up the tiers, you get more calls, more classes, and more regular interaction. So I mean, the way we say is that the more time you spend with us, the faster you get the results. So for those that, I mean, imagine if I'm going to teach you how to drive a car, you meet me once a month. I mean, you're not going to be able to drive a car very quickly, right? But if you meet me like once a week or something like that, obviously your progress is going to be so much faster. So we sell that speed and frequency.
I love it, man. I was just looking at something and I was taking notes, but it's simple. Like, I'm actually out of questions to ask you, which is rare for me, because we're at 29 minutes and I'm like, crap, I think I've run out of stuff, because I get it, right? And so I'm already seeing how I can apply this to like my business and to what I'm doing. And it's very simple. Like, you're out there running ads to a webinar. That webinar, people show up. You're selling a low cost, product on it that goes to a 3-day event. And then at the 3-day event, you're running it live, engaging with people, giving them value. You have a few hundred in the room. And then they're buying your 30, 40, 30, 50, 80K program. You said you guys are launching into like a different language. You also said, so here's a question. You said you have another business in the how to grow businesses division. Yes. You have a separate business. Do you follow the same model? Is it the same marketing model?
It's the same marketing model. It's the same thing.
This is your secret. This is how you're going to grow this company, is you're just going to find new topics, new verticals, new languages, copy paste this model into that market, grow that to 10 million a year, and then go do it again in another market, 10 million a year, in another market, 10 million a year. Is that the secret plan?
Yeah, that's I mean, the secret's out. But actually, to be fair, I think I first learned this I think from an American. So he was doing it for business, and I actually translated this into an e-commerce product. Teach people how to.
Who is it? Do you mind sharing? Do you mind sharing who you learned this from?
K Minkus. I'm not sure if you.
Oh no, I don't know the name. No, okay.
Yeah. So he first did it in America, and he brought it to Singapore. So we were looking at it. Obviously, we had to adjust it to fit the culture and things like that. Then we translated it into e-commerce product, which it works for e-commerce. And then after that, I had to do it for a Forex company, a company that teaches people how to trade Forex. So after that, so this company that I'm helping to scale right now, they are investing people who teach us how to invest in options, not binary options, like the real legit options. Then after that, we went to also do information business, basically teach people how to do business. But of course, at the end of the day, people must be willing to pay. You must find the right people to pay you that 30 to 50K. So even in the business niche, we do find people who pay us 30 to 50K. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I feel that this sells itself, because if you're confident of your product, of your fulfillment, and what happens is that you can get them results. So like, for example, there was this person who paid us 50K. And after that, we helped, this was a pair of business partners. We helped them, yoga teachers. And if you know yoga teachers, yeah, at least in our country, yoga people, they don't get paid very well, right? They have this hesitance to collect money for some reason. But so the entire of last year, they made about 50K, right? But this year, just this last one weekend, they made 80K. So we're like, okay, you found it, you know it, just rinse and repeat. So yeah, their one weekend was their one previous year's entire annual income.
Wow. Amazing. Anything after the 80K? Like, let's say someone gave you 80K, they got great results. They're like, are they done, or do you have some secret package behind that too that you can get?
No secret package. So what happened was that so here's the interesting thing, because what happens is that most people, if you don't give them good results, they will. I mean, you can con them once. You know, if they pay you 50K, you don't deliver. You're not. But what happens? Interestingly, so we've been doing this for, I mean, since for about 3 years, and right. So we have people who pay us 50K, 30K, 50K, and guess what? We told them this journey will only be 1 year. And they actually renewed with us. So we have people who paid us another 30K, another 50K just to renew. Because hey man, imagine I help you turn your 500K into 1 mil. Will you continue with me for another year?
Of course. So this is an annual price. It's annual. It's for an annual program. Okay. Well, that's going to help you scale too, right? Because every year you'll start stacking from the past years. So man, this has been.
This is definitely dependent on them. So I can tell you very openly, obviously, because we also want to encourage them to, like, hey, we teach you the skill, where after we teach you everything, right? So after that, you want to continue with us or not, it's up to you, right? And if you're good, you know, you kind of graduated, we're very happy for you. But for some of them, they realize that, hey man, investing is such an emotional thing. Doing business is such a, you need mentors, right? I saw your IG profile, your videos as well. And you talk about how everyone needs the 3 types of people, including a mentor, a life mentor, a business mentor. So it's like they know it. The people who really get it, they're like, I want to work with you on a long-term basis, and they just renew. So yeah.
No, it's such a brilliant, simple business model. I'm already having a lot of ideas on how this will apply to our business, because my goal and my dream is to get more people to launch their own education, right? I feel like the world of education is going to change. We need more next levels, which, by the way, I have a really funny story I want to share with you that you'll laugh about the name Next Level. But we want more next levels, because next level is going to provide more results for its students than college or university does. And imagine if in anything we want to learn, graphic design, programming, marketing, media buying, copywriting, if there is a next level there that says, come to me for 10% of what college costs, I will give you a skill in a month that you can go off and make so much money with. I think that's the future of education. I really do think that's where education's going. Real education. And I want to be at the forefront of helping people bring their knowledge to building an education system for them. And that's kind of become my obsessive mission now. And that's where I'm going to go. So I'm looking at your model and I'm like, I could totally do this. So I have, drive the traffic to an early webinar where I talk about my model, how to publish your course, how to get, and then at the end, it's like, hey, listen, we have a 3-day event. In that 3-day event, we're going to outline your entire course. We're going to figure out your funnel. We're going to do all this fun stuff. It's $300. Show up to the event. We want to make sure you're serious. We want to pay our trainers. And then we already have in the plans 2 products behind that that could just be transparently spoken about. Like we could send everybody who signs up a portfolio of like stuff to look through, and there's a pamphlet in there, and it's like, this is what it is. And during that 3-day event, you just let them know, hey guys, who wants the extra help? Who wants the ability to call a coach? Who wants us to look and review your stuff? I love it, man. It is seriously very, very smart. So I'm just, I'm a little dumbfounded at how simple it is. And I want to really commend you on keeping it simple. Yeah, simple works. You're right. I did it I made things complicated, about as complicated as they could. I'm good at that. That's my superpower. You give me something simple, I complicate the shit out of it. That's what I've always done as an entrepreneur. And I'm trying to get away from doing that now. Funny story about Next Level. So I was looking for a new name for a company that I'm planning in my head. And I had all this list up, and one of the names was like Up Level, this, that, and all the domains are gone. And Next Level was a domain name I looked up, and I remember seeing that there's a company already on it. And look at that. A few months later, I'm talking to the CEO of it.
There's a lot. Like even in Singapore, there's like 2 Next Level. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the guy who is better marketed wins.
Yeah. No, you guys do it right. Is the URL, if someone's listening to this and they want to engage, because I got to tell you, part of me is like, dude, I want to do this class. I actually want to learn investing. Where can they go to learn more? Where can they go to follow you more, learn more from you? Just throw out any URLs, please.
Yeah, you can just come to my Instagram, Zachary YDF, Zachary spelled with an A. If not, you can probably search for, I mean, we usually target people who are in Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong. So yeah, you can search for We the Next Level at We the Next Level at Instagram. You can find us there. So we're quite straightforward.
Great. Awesome. There you go, everybody. Join them at seriously, We the Next Level on Instagram. Go Google them, follow Zachary Young. We'll put all the links and everything in our show notes as well. This has been such a powerful presentation, and thank you so much. I have a lot of questions. I'm definitely going to want to follow up with you in the future and pick your brain a little bit if you don't mind. That would be just awesome. And I hate that term, pick your brain. I don't want to pick your brain. I would like to compensate you for your time to review my business model that I build off of this interview. I told you, remember, before we even started recording, I said, hey, I listen to these and I implement what my guests talk about. This you will see me implementing into our business. So Zach,
when you get results and tell me about it. I'm so excited. Yeah, because and just to let you know, it worked. We have helped so many clients, so many different topics: yoga, forex, investing, career transition coach. It all works. So yeah, I'm very excited.
I'd love to get some of them on this podcast. By the way, if you know any of them that would want to be on the podcast to talk about, because I love niches, right? Like I'd love to get a yoga person on to talk about how they use this model on their yoga business. But Zach, thanks so much for your time, man. Have a great rest. I know I'm keeping you up late. Thank you so much. Everyone who's listening, come on, hit subscribe right now. Leave a comment below. If you're on any of the other podcast platforms, make sure you leave us a great review and hit subscribe. This is Anik Singal reminding you, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. See you on the next one, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.